Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast.
This isn't two podcasters talking business. This is two business guys trying to podcast. Why don't you care about waterfront in February? You think you're too good for that shit, or
what? Frozen lakes?
Yeah,
it's fine.
You got something against ice? Abolish ice? Are you one of those?
Have you seen that TikTok where the guy's wearing like ice cubes on a string around his neck, and then the guy walks in, he's like, dude, that's literally ice. He's like, thank you.
Thank you.
He's like, no, you're literally dripping. He's like, thanks.
You're dripping, bro.
Hey, what's up? My name is Willows.
My name is Tyler.
And this is podcast that is
Alcohol Beyond This Point.
47 episode.
God damn. I honestly didn't think we'd make it this far.
Why?
I didn't think I'd make it this far.
I don't know how to respond to that.
There's no point in talking about it. It's not like 47 is a big number.
Exactly. Talk to me once we hit 1,000.
Sure. Yeah, war never changes. And ice be dripping. That's the subject of today.
I have a topic, something pissing me off.
You got something that's grinding your gears?
I have something that's grinding my gears today.
What's grinding your gears today?
People that use their business social media account like it's their personal account.
You want to name names?
No. So I'll give you an example, though. Like, they're on their business social media, their business, let's say, Facebook. That's where I see it the worst.
Sure. Boomers.
They're on the business Facebook. It's called Bill's Plumbing, right? Facebook. And then they post something, and then a bunch of people are in the comments like, oh, nice picture, Bill. Maybe Bill's Plumbing's a bad idea, but like, okay, like what I do with my brand is I try to separate like myself from the brand.
Right.
I wouldn't like it if someone was addressing me personally to my company.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't like when people are like you're responding to people like it's you through your business's account.
Correct. Then why have the business account?
I think it's unprofessional.
Unless it's like someone, maybe it's business to business and you know that person that's on the other side of the phone, right?
I think what it is a lot of the time though is that these boomers don't have an Instagram.
Right, or they don't know how to switch.
yeah, but they don't have one to begin with,
right.
So they're then they follow people, and now they're like, oh, Instagram,
and they're liking teen girl pics.
Yeah, like on their business account. Have you seen that fucking who was that? Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz on 9/11 liked some like porn star's tweet.
Oh, that sounds like something Ted Cruz would do. 100%.
Yeah, that's a mood though.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that sucks. Scroll.
Every so often I'll accidentally, because I want to turn them off, but every so often I like it. Where Twitter's like, hey, in case you missed this, like a bunch of people that follow you also like this tweet, like, it recommends you something. So I'll be reading it and I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with that and I like it. And then I realize I'm logged into the wrong Twitter.
Right.
Because it just gave me a push notification and I didn't see what account it was.
Yeah.
And I have like 6 accounts logged in on my Twitter, right?
Of course. Who doesn't?
Dude, I own multiple businesses. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. It's businesses. It's not all the shit posting accounts.
I also do have shit posting accounts. It's fine. But then I am trying to be careful of going back in and like unliking the tweets that I like, just to make sure they're, because if you didn't know this, ladies and gentlemen, the tweets you like are public. People can look that up.
Yep, and it's out there forever.
Instagram too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, unless posts get taken down, same principle.
It's fine. So anyway, I don't know. That's just pissing me off today.
Don't soil your business with your personal problems. With your personal life. Like, you know who I'm talking about. Posts, pictures of like family day.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we
went to the beach today and here's a picture of a picnic I ate. And it's like on their business Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. That's different but related. That's actually a good point. Yeah, because I'm sure you've seen something like that. Small business, small local, name a business that is like posting shit about their kids graduating on their business account. It's like, why am I looking at this right now?
Yeah, I feel like it devalues the image.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think that you should try to make your brand look bigger than just you, even if it is just you.
And here's another thing. Scarcity also does count for something. Like I kind of go back and forth with Brandon about this, but he posts very like intentional, like really good looking pictures very infrequently. And I post much less curated pictures but much more frequently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so Brandon's strategy creates a stronger brand image, but mine creates or gets more interaction.
I'm on the more content is better train.
Yeah, for
personally.
sure. And I get maybe you can do both, right? You could have
Absolutely.
You could have the very intentional, highly curated, and that's your posts, right?
I don't have the time to do both.
Yeah.
But I think the ROI on hiring maybe not a social media manager, but like a photographer or even just like a kid with a camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like take pictures of shit, depending on your industry.
Or take a Skillshare course and learn how to use a camera and buy one on Marketplace.
Yeah. I think the ROI on that is potentially quite high. I follow this restaurant locally, and they post like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Beautiful pictures of the food.
Right.
Like nice like background, like how I don't know how they're doing it, but like cool pictures, like not just fucking point and shoot. Like they look good, and they post a ton.
Yeah.
But presumably they're just taking a bunch of shit, post pictures of the food they make every day.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. It depends on your industry, I guess.
I think it depends on your industry. I think, more better the better.
I think more better. I think the more you post, the more likely it is for someone to see your posts. Not even just that principle, but also that's what Facebook and Instagram. Just kidding. That's what the metaverse wants you to do, is be posting as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
There's a reason why Kylie Jenner does 150 Instagram stories a day.
Yeah, and also
it works.
And also the new fad of photo dumping, which is just post 10 photos every time you make a post, and it's just like, the last 10 photos in your camera roll.
Yeah.
And you should do that daily.
Yeah. You know what I hate though? When people post 10 photos every time they go on Instagram, but like separately, so it's 10 different posts.
Oh,
and then they don't post again for a month.
That's really bad.
I hate that. Because I'm just like scrolling my entire feed as all this one person. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's how you get an unfollow.
yeah, literally.
So tune into this podcast for social media advice.
I mean, social media is very, very relevant for business.
Yeah,
And I think just as young people, we have a leg up on how social media works.
Yeah, you absolutely. If you're not staying top of mind, like I just bought some new tires for my shit car, which is not actually a shit car. It's a great car, but it is a shit car if it doesn't have tires.
Your shit car that I bought for you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. Anyways, bought tires for my shit car, and I got the money for those tires by doing a job for a random guy on Facebook who sought me out specifically because of work that I posted, and he's like, it's this, whatever, it's a, really big tile. I want the cuts done the specific way, and he's like, I don't really know anybody that can do that except for, I guess, the stuff that I've seen you do. Never met this guy, totally cold. He just fucking found me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you follow someone that's tagged my post, and I always tag designers, builders, and other contractors that I know.
Yeah.
That were on the same job site. So if I know the guy that made the kitchen where I just did this work, I tag his work.
Good.
I tag the builder and I tag the designer.
Yeah.
And then because they also have social media people that need to generate posts every day, they're like, as soon as they like get tagged in a post,
they'll add it to story.
add to their story
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, look, more content, cross posting, whatever. Cross posting is very good.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I get exposure to all these other people. I get a bunch of follows and DMs from that, and I think this guy found me that way. anyway, so he brings me in for this kitchen job, and these are my favorite jobs. We didn't discuss price. He didn't ask for an estimate. He just said, I need it done this specific way. Here's the address. And then we figured out whatever a time. I show up. I just start working. We didn't, like, again, didn't talk, quote, estimate, whatever. I'm just, like, trusting this guy. And so I go do this whole install. Turns out, like, 8 out of 10. And it went really smooth, like, really fast. Probably took me, like, the whole job was, like, 6.5 hours. And whatever, when he came out, you know, he did the final inspection. He was, like, pretty happy with it. He had a couple notes, things he wanted different for next time. And then he's like, okay, so, like, how much? And then I'm like, okay, well, typically, and I'm like, for if this was day-to-day business, you know, over the counter, our minimum price is $2,000. Like, we don't do by square foot. And I could tell he's like, holy shit, that's a lot. And I'm like, personally, though, I'm like, for doing side jobs, you know, like, I'll do, like, maybe I'll do usually about $1,000. I'm like, but because this one was so fast and you give me 2, I'm like, how's 750 sound? And he's like, okay, well, I just got 100, so, like, here's $800. And I'm like, fucking great. 6 hours, 6.5 hours, $800.
Yeah, 110 bucks an hour, 105 bucks an hour.
My material cost was $42.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you're like,
That's
you're
just
like
net.
fucking profit.
Yeah, so this is like 2 evenings, fucking $800. I'm like, dope. And I have and then he's giving me a second one in a few weeks, and then probably a couple more jobs that are gonna dovetail off of that. So it's like, it's not big money, but that shit makes a difference. You know, 2 evenings out of a month, and I basically, you know, how much leftover money do you have every month? Probably not excess of $1,000. So, like, that's fucking significant if you can pull that kind. And it was just based off of me shit posting stories all the time of, like, specific work that I'm doing that I'm proud of or that I'm happy about. And it's like, there you go.
That's how much money I made on Ethereum this week.
If you do that every week,
just by hodling. I will do it every week.
You do that every week.
Watch this, baby, to the moon.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about hodling, which I believe in wholeheartedly. So, with that being said, I'm going to shit on it. No, I'm not going to shit on hodling. I'm going to shit on the people that are like, I've seen, you know, Instagram reels and stuff. People are like, trying to hype up the viewer and being like, you know, we out here making so much money, look at this, and they're like showing their accounts and screenshots of like graphs and whatever. It's like as if they know what they're as if they're like options trading or you know, fucking doing algorithmic calculations to know when to buy and when to, like, they're making it look like way more than it is. They're just like taking a screenshot of like, oh, the market went up today, haha, look how good I did.
Yeah,
it's like, no, you didn't do shit, bud.
Wait, the S&P 500 went up this week?
Everything's up.
Wow.
Bro. It's an everything rally. Like, everyone's making money, and these guys are posting videos like, we out here making bank, like, quit your job, like, come with us and learn from us.
Well, they're trying to scam you, or they're trying to do like the MLM trading stuff.
No. I don't even know if they were like had an MLM. Like, they might have. I didn't click that far into it.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably did because they're making a video, but also, it just kind of seemed like they were just hyping themselves up, which, I mean, fine, fair, but I know how easy it is to fall for that stuff because when I was young and dumb and didn't know anything, fuck yeah, I fell for that
dude,
stuff.
if crypto was around when I was in high school,
oh yeah, you'd be crypto Jesus walking around the halls.
Here's actually
telling a good word.
Here's actually a funny story. My business partner Zach and I, before we were business partners, when we were like 15, we ran the math to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We were gonna do it in his mother's basement.
Yeah.
But the computers that we had and the price of power at the time, it wouldn't have been profitable.
Right.
This would have been when Bitcoin was around $150.
Right.
If we had just done it
instead of wait and see, and if you would have done it on a speculative case, not on a cash flow basis,
we probably would have made millions.
Yeah.
Realistically, right? I'm not mad. Obviously, it was dumb at the time, right? And I've told this story on this podcast before, I think, as well. Like we bought Bitcoin at $600. We had like 3.5 Bitcoins.
Right.
We used it to buy drugs on the dark web.
Yep.
And that would
I
be.
think you should just bleep that out. Just we bought bleep on the bleep. I think it'd be funny.
I think I've said it uncensored on this podcast before. I'm
just,
pretty sure.
Just bleep it this time. It'd be funny.
Sure. And if we had just held on to that, we would have spent, $3,000 to make 500 grand.
Yeah.
Right. So like,
yeah,
but I'm very, you shouldn't, I know people.
Don't dwell. Like, if you're one of those motherfuckers that all you can talk about is all the investments you almost made.
Yeah, you could do. Oh yeah. Don't get me started on that, or actually do, because we need content. But like, I'm going to be pretty vague because I don't want to like out them, but there's this person, an acquaintance, we could call them. I won't even gender them because
you're going to slip up for sure.
For sure. But they said something relatively recently, like sent me a message and said like, if I had only known, I would have invested in you, in Shrugging Doctor.
Yeah.
I have, and they were talking. I'm like, you did not have the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like,
don't treat my success like your missed opportunity.
Yeah, and that's what they were doing. They were like, I literally sit up at night some nights, being like, because they were there. They saw the operation when it started in the basement.
Yeah.
As a homebrew operation. And they, I guess, romanticized that in their mind. Probably thought we were better friends than we were. And then, it was like, if I had only, I sit up at night some nights saying like, if only I had put all my paycheck, my extra money on my paychecks into getting you started, then I could be like where you are. And I just read the message and I'm like, okay, I'm just like, yeah, thanks for the support. Like, I don't know.
What do you say to that? Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't going to be like, no, you had, even if you had been like, yeah, 50 grand right now, let's go. I would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't need a few $100 back then. Well, I mean, sometimes you did, but it was, you were taking it on, you were getting it on loans, you were getting by. It's like you weren't taking,
we figured it out.
You weren't selling equity.
We had a few opportunities to sell equity.
Yeah.
One of which to you.
Yeah.
There was probably 4 times, I would say. 4 times in 7 years.
Yeah.
We've been open for about 5, but they're like the startup period, whatever. There's probably about 4 or 5 times that I had serious opportunity to sell a third or 20 or 10% of the business.
Yeah.
First time, I think it was a third for $50K. Something like that. I know with you, we didn't really make a formal, we didn't really come to a...
We had a decent
It
offer.
was basically like you were making a lot more money. Because if you had come with us, you wouldn't have made any fucking money for 3 years.
Right.
And you were making a lot of money with your job, and your boss said basically pick one.
Yeah.
Like, don't have your foot in both camps.
Right. And then, I mean, the conversation basically went to, I'm like, I don't think this pie is big enough for 3 of us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and also it's like, it's your baby. And I'm like, you don't realistically need me right now.
Yeah, and look,
it was like, it was good.
It was, yeah, I think we both made a good decision. You would have hated working with us.
in that phase of the business, 100%, I would have gone crazy. Like, I can't operate under the same conditions that you guys can.
I will take that as a compliment.
Please do.
Yeah, the first or second opportunity was probably around $150,000 valuation, about $50,000 for a third.
Yeah.
Second time was like a year in. I think he offered us like $200,000 for like equal partnership. Like he owns 49.5 or whatever, and we own like 51 or 50.5 or whatever. So valuing the business about $400K.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had someone relatively recently try to buy like. Right, we didn't get far enough to offer an actual stake, but they were going to offer like I was like, anything if you're valuing the business under $1 million, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, and then we're like, I don't know.
It's like, it's fun when you're flirting, but
Yeah, well, I thought more about it. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
this is just another one of those things.
You'd have to bring more than money.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to.
Right. Yeah, no, you're definitely, I mean, just as a rule of thumb, if you're going to take on dumb money, make it, like, treat that person that way, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like a non-contributing member of the company, and realize that that's a very low value proposition.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially as I get more money.
Yeah.
Just money partners becomes less and less valuable.
Right. When you're in like real estate, for example, you can offer like definitely like more aggressive when you're beginning, like more aggressive shares. Like you're splitting profits in half. You're paying really high rates, but the caveat is you're not, if you're structuring your deals properly you're going to be splitting profits on properties and on projects, not on your business. You're not selling your business equity, you're selling equity in a property, right?
Yeah.
So like you have the ability to upgrade your terms every time you do another deal. You don't have that option with your business to reevaluate your terms every time you get a purchase order.
No.
But if you could, that would be, you'd be like, okay,
Open
yeah,
to it.
I'll take on a 50-50 partner at $200,000 today on this.
For this month's
Right.
wine.
And then you move on to tomorrow, you liquidate that position, they are up
Yeah.
$210,000, you renegotiate next month.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have that
Yeah,
liquidity.
you can't do that with my kind of business.
Yeah.
With hard assets and a building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What I would be probably open to, if there's any investors listening, just kidding, is probably some sort of like buyback agreement.
Right, yeah. I mean, every good contract should have a termination in mind.
Yeah, we have
An
the
exit-
opportunity.
An exit agreement.
Yeah, like we have a shareholders agreement between Zach and I. So if we were going to sell part of the business, say 20%, maybe I buy the business back from you 5% a year for 4 years at this rate or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do something like that, or you can have an agreement that says specifically this is a 5-year deal, and at that time, either liquidate or re-up.
That's, yeah.
You can do, it's contract law, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, businesses, you can literally do whatever you can think of.
But I kind of want to go down that road of like missed opportunities, because I was like I mentioned to you right before the podcast, speaking to a friend of mine, and he was talking about how he just bought a $15,000 gas range for his new house he bought. And, he's a year younger than me, and, just got married, had a super expensive wedding, bought a big expensive new house, and like this guy's balling. He's doing great. And it's like the first reaction is always to feel jealous to something like that, especially if this person worked in a position below me.
Didn't you fire him?
No.
Okay, but he didn't do well at your company.
No, he didn't thrive working with me. Like whatever. I'm not going to go into details. Basically, for a period of my life, I'm like, oh, I'm ahead of this guy.
Yeah.
But clearly, this guy had better moves, and now he's doing better than me, like significantly so. But at the same time, like I'm thinking back through it of like all the different choices I could have made, because this is what I fucking do to myself. Bit of a sadist.
Ooh.
Right. Each of these kind of big inflection points of my life, where I've made these decisions that have, beyond the shadow of a doubt, been to my detriment.
Yeah.
You're well acquainted with my decisions, so I'm not going to rehash them. But at the same time, the reasons, like, if I look at it that way, I look like an idiot. But if I legitimately, I look like an idiot, like a serial offender of idiocy. But if I look at it in the context of the reasons that I made those decisions, I would 100% make all those decisions again.
You notice I'm staying very quiet through this whole you're an idiot portion of the of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, like, I left my super high-paying position for very specific reasons, and I don't regret it for a fucking day. I got out of that business, I didn't pursue that business for a lot of very specific reasons, and none of those reasons have changed. My values are still the same on them. Like, I didn't want to get into fucking flipping houses in Winnipeg. No, because I seen the product that, you know, gets put out from that business model, and it's not good. You're just fucking the end user, and you're not creating value. You're just basically, you're getting paid a small profit for squeezing a bunch of people and mistreating them and like underpaying and whatever. Like, they call it negotiating, they call it good business, whatever.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying you can't flip houses and make money and be an ethical business person at the same time. I'm just saying it doesn't happen a lot. And most people that do it rely on screwing somebody over, not on actually doing good business or bringing value to the actual transaction or to the property, whatever. Putting lipstick and whatever shit on a house and not actually fixing any of the problems and selling it like it.
Yeah,
it's
you
a good
buy
house.
it, repaint it, and then sell it for $60,000 over what you bought it for.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, say what you might.
You didn't want to be.
No, I didn't want to be that. And people that I know that are smart business people that, you know, still do it, fucking hate themselves for it, but do it anyways because it's all they know how to do.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't want to do that. I absolutely did not want to get into coaching. I've been asked multiple times to coach somebody, and like, they've offered me money, like on an hourly basis or on a contractual basis, to coach them on how to be a better business owner. And I said yes to one, and I've said to no every one since, because it's a really kind of perverse relationship, I've found. Like, when you hire like a psychiatrist or, you know, a therapist, that's structured. There's like a code of ethics, and when, you know, if the relationship breaches a certain point, you know, there's a thing you do, you know, you push them off to somebody else. Like, there's a way to handle those things. When you get into business coaching, it's very much of a similar relationship, but what tends to happen is because it gets either abusive, manipulative, coercive, like, because the coach wants to keep getting paid. The student wants to get whatever result they want out of it. And you get this emotional codependency, and it's just like, it's really fucking interesting to see how badly these go a lot of the time. And just the fact that building a scaled up coaching business is just, don't even get me fucking started on like coaching seminars and these like online products, and, you know, you go to this class and they're going to teach you how to do X, Y, Z. That's where it actually gets bad. Like, the one-on-one coaching is fine. I think someone can do it. I think you can do it ethically. I think you can do it well. As a business where you like have staff and you have salespeople and you do big promotions and you have a brand and like you have that business, I've yet to see one that's done ethically. You know, it's these road shows of salespeople that just juice, you know, unwilling, unknowing people for as much as money as they can.
And then it's the carny model where you pack up and leave town before they get wise to your scams.
You budget in your marketing, you budget in your lawsuits, and if you go on the road and you make more than that, like, you're good, and keep going. When you kill the brand, you recycle, you get a new one. Like, that's how they make money. Like, I hated that business. You know, like, name a thing. All the decisions that I've made up until this point, obviously I can't comment on my current situation because I'm currently in it. But every decision up to this point, like...
But on episode 147, you'll be telling us how you regret all of this.
Skip forward 50 episodes, and let me tell you how I fucked up this year and last year, whatever. But all the decisions that I made, like, I did not have a singular focus on enriching myself. Never have. And
I enrich myself like 3 times a day.
I'm sure you do.
Sometimes at work in the bathroom.
I thought that cost you...
Oh, because I clogged the plumbing?
No, like your life force. I don't know. Jordan Peterson has some hot takes on this.
Oh yeah, semen retention.
Yeah, the semen retention guy. Thanks, Bernier. You have to be Canadian to know the joke. Anyways, yeah, I don't think there's any decisions that I would have made differently, because if I look it through the lens of like, oh, look at all these opportunities I missed to make money, there's nothing but regrets. There's nothing but stories. There's nothing but like missed touchdowns, good old days stories of like, oh, I almost did, or oh, I could have, or maybe I should have. Stories and moments in my life, like more than most people get in a lifetime, I'd like to think.
I think so.
But I don't regret any of them, and I think I got better, wiser every time. And I look at these people that are like, okay, so you picked your lane, you found your lane, and you've been grinding, doing that thing, and with that singular focus, now look where you are. You're doing great. Congratulations. Like, there's people I know that have been in their grind since they're 16 years old. Now they're 25 and they're fucking millionaires, and it's like, wow, they've got it made. But that's what they know. That's the one thing that they do. And if that's your life, fantastic. But I can't compare myself to that person and pretend that that's how I am, because I can't be like that. Like, if that was my life, I'd probably be just as pissed about having missed out on, I got myself stuck in this business. Now I have to do it. Now I got this big house, this big mortgage, all these expenses, and I'm locked in this business that I hate. And now I figured out, like, I knew the ethics were sketchy, and now they're all catching up to me. Like, but I have this big house, so I got to keep going. Like,
because you need to pay your mortgage, otherwise the bank takes it. So
this is why people like Donald Trump are so successful, because they believe in like this manifest destiny, if you will it, it will become, where it's like, it's no regrets, no apologies, just force your way forward. And if you just believe it hard enough, it will be. It's like the election fraud. It's like, I didn't win, therefore it must be stolen. If I say that often enough, I'll become president again. Like, if I don't care if I'm fucking over everybody in this entire city, I'm going to make $500 million on this building. I'm going to rip off every contractor. I'm going to fuck over the banks. I'm going to fuck over the workers. I'm going to fuck over, the native people that I stole this land from. Like, I'm going to do all these things because I deserve that $500 million. And that's what he does. That's his business model. That's his life. That's his attitude and his personality. And half of America fucking loves it. Like, that's the winning personality, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck everyone for the bottom line.
Yeah.
And
capitalism, baby.
It's a bastardized version of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I'm a purist. Like, everything I just said about the businesses that I've said fuck you to, those were all highly lucrative businesses, completely legal, and lots of paying customers.
Yeah.
Like, everything I've told you, people have, tried to give me money to do those things. I've taken people's money to do those things. Entire life savings, and they say thank you. I'm saying no, despite the fact that they want to buy. Like, am I stupid for that? Maybe.
I just put my entire life savings in this Squid Game coin.
Oh, how did that go?
Can I borrow $20? Did you see this Taiwanese man?
Yeah, put his life savings in.
Bought $38,000 of this Squid Game cryptocurrency that turned out to be a scam. And
like, most people on the internet are like, it's a scam.
And it's not even like they were trying very hard.
Yeah.
Apparently, just once you deposited the money, you just couldn't take it out. There was no way to transfer the crypto to a wallet. There was no way to take out money again. And people just kept buying because it kept going up.
Because they're like, oh, Squid, like exactly the reason that he said, oh, Squid Game popular. Squid Coin sounds like a money-making opportunity.
Yeah, because people see what happened with Dogecoin, and then they think this is gonna be the next Dogecoin, and they're gonna fucking $38,000.
Yep, will
be $380 million.
Like the crypto trader I know, he's like, yep, trading shitcoins. You're just taking people's lunch money.
Yeah, like
you're not just like earning magical money on the internet. That came from someone's bank account.
Yeah, like Warren Buffett always said, like, he doesn't like cryptocurrency. But
for probably the same reasons that I hate all the things I just talked about.
Because what did it's the what do you call it? Dumber buyer fallacy. What is it called?
Yeah.
Where you're buying something, an asset, counting that somebody else will buy it for more than you paid for.
Yes.
You're not creating value. That's all you're doing is buying and then hoping somebody else will buy it for more. And that's not just cryptocurrency, obviously. There's tons of things like that. Tulips.
Yep. Tulips are a great example. Spice.
Yeah. Historically, there's been a lot of them. But recently, cryptocurrency and NFTs are the two big ones that people buy and then hope they can basically flip, right? And every single person tries to do that, buy and sell higher, until the last person can't.
Yeah.
And then it crashes, right?
Yep.
That's why...
Wait a second. So not everyone makes money?
Wow.
That's why Ponzi schemes are illegal.
Yeah.
These are just more elaborate Ponzi schemes, really.
Well...
Crypto is...
Yes and no.
It can be. It can be an elaborate Ponzi scheme, but cryptos also just so happen to be backed by, sound ideas and ideals and visions, and like there's I shouldn't say necessarily intrinsic value to cryptocurrency, but I guess the value is what people give it. And it represents hope. It represents it. Well, it's like a protest against.
I hate the people that go, well, your Bitcoin is a scam because it's not backed by anything. I'm going to go use my US dollar to go buy these things because that's not a scam. Like, it's like, that's not like and one could make the argument, okay, well, the US dollar is backed by the US military, right? That's why it has value.
Sure.
I don't know, man.
The U.S. dollar is backed by the faith in the U.S. dollar. If the U.S. military was the only one enforcing it, what are they going to do? Shoot everyone that doesn't want to use it? Then there's no one to use the dollar.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like it's backed,
and Bitcoin is backed by the same faith.
Well, it's backed by faith. It's backed by confidence. It's enforced by the military, but it's that faith and confidence, and also the infinitely complex, laws and business practices and traditions and nationalist pride and like all these things that are like baked into it that make the US dollar so hard to dethrone.
Yeah.
And they make it try to make it harder every year, right?
Yeah.
By crushing all the other countries, and their economies and their exports and name a thing to keep their dollar on top.
And that's why I'm more interested in cryptocurrency mining than I am on cryptocurrency trading.
Yeah.
Because mining is inherently providing you're providing the hash rate and the energy to have the coins in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is the same, I guess, kind of the same reason why I'm more interested in building equity in businesses rather than trading equities on the stock market.
Right. Yeah, and building equity in a business, you're always going to have the best returns. Yeah. That way anyway.
Well, and because the more stocks I trade, I'm just like, man, this is boring.
Yeah, look how 99% of the rich people out there got rich. They built a business and sold it, and then used that, or built a business and held it, and lived on the dividends, or built a business and sold it, and then invested whatever, or lived on the proceeds. Like that's the story of everyone. If you're going rags to riches, you have to build a business. Period. Like there's no, I saved up and I put some money in my Wealth Simple, and I invested in smart, and like. There's a select number of those people, and they usually end up like managing money or whatever, or the number of people that just are thrifty and can get there, fucking small.
Well,
right?
I'm curious.
That are just money managers, because that in itself is a business, right?
I'm curious what a lot of the Bitcoin millionaires, like the people that got rich off Dogecoin in the last couple of years, I wonder if they're going to be able to keep that money.
I have a feeling most of them are going to go the way of the lottery winners.
Yeah, which is 90% end up broke within 5 years.
Yeah.
Because getting a lot of money doesn't give you good money management skills.
And especially if you got that money and now believe that you're the oracle.
Well, because I made one call, but I didn't actually. I was just on Reddit and they made a call.
Yeah, no, I know a guy that like made damn near $1 million. I shouldn't say damn near $1 million. Probably like $500,000 in crypto. And then I was like, oh, I don't have to work a job now. And basically like ran out of money after. He's like, oh, I didn't realize how easy it is to spend $100,000. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that shit goes fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, spend most of his money now is like mowing lawns and stuff. Like he made some amazing calls, but he basically made a couple of I think he did a legitimately good research. He bought these assets very intentionally. He didn't make money by fluke. I'll give him that. I think he 100% did that with skill, but he also didn't continue to do it. I think he let that skill atrophy. He didn't nurture and he kind of sat back, which is fine. I mean, if you have a bunch of money and you're like, oh, I don't need more money, stop working. I get it, but I don't know, maybe there's a balance in between. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you need to spend it either.
Well, yeah, like I think you can Google it, but like I think like a lot of they always track or they like to track like lottery winners. What they spend the money on is like why they got broke.
Yeah.
A lot of people first thing to do is buy a car.
Yeah.
Like buy a Ferrari, not realizing that I need a $3,000 oil change now.
Yeah.
Like my insurance is $100,000 a year, huh?
Yeah.
Like, and then it like and
it devalues $15,000, $20,000 a year.
Yeah, like or they buy a mansion.
Yeah.
You win $10 million, you buy a $5 million house, and then you're like, nah, I'm gonna live on the $5 million for the rest of my life. And then your fucking property tax bill comes in, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, and you got to realize also maintenance and upkeep. You have to budget 1%. I think 1% of property value, or is it 3% property value annually? Anyways, there's like a specific number.
Yeah, there's
like your house will cost you that much. Like I work in big houses, and a house that I just finished today is a fucking prime example of very good quote I heard recently was home ownership is a study in entropy. Where, I'm working in this 10,000 square foot home. It's 1905, whatever it may be. It was built by a very rich man, owned by mostly rich people. But those rich people, probably their income decreased over time. Maybe they were overspending, maybe they were overextended, or maybe they just stopped caring. And this house fell into disrepair, as 100-year-old homes often do. And basically, at this point now, they have to spend, the new owners probably spent $1 million repairing this place.
Yeah.
Just to get it back up to, the level of its original glory. $1 million to get it up to its original value. And this is $1 million house. Or sorry, probably like purchased for like 2 to 3 million. It's probably worth 4 or 5 now. Yeah. Anyways, those are rough numbers, but like 3 years, $1 million to get back to original. Entropy of a skill, entropy of an asset, entropy of a business. I don't know. You need to. Okay, we need to take this shot.
Welcome to the segment of the show that we call Shot Caller, the part of the show where you, the audience, can pick the shot that we take.
And today, Old Smokey.
We have returned to the meme of the podcast. This is the worst alcohol that we love. Just kidding, Old Smokey. If you want to sponsor us, it's the fucking habanero mango whiskey, guys. You guys know. If you're listening to the podcast, it's a meme by now. You know, we're taking a shot of it. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So if you want a super fucking expensive house, if you think replacing your furnace is bad, what about when you have 4 of them? If you have electrical problems, standard house has a 200 amp breaker panel. This house we just did has 4 of them, and they're all smart.
There's a Guy Ritchie film called The Gentleman, 2018, I think.
Spicy.
Where Matthew McConaughey plays a marijuana drug lord.
Yeah.
Living in England. And he has all his grow-ops under these huge estates.
Yeah.
Like these 30 estates in England or whatever, of these lords, that had these giant plantations and everything.
Yeah.
But it's fourth generation.
Yes.
And he's explaining every time someone dies, you lose half to inheritance tax. And now and then it's there's a time lapse of them sitting in the room, and then every time it goes a generation, shit gets taken off the wall, and furniture gets sold, and paintings get sold, and
yeah,
and now it's
Entropy.
these third or fourth generation living with a leaky roof
And they
because
just
they
have
can't
this
afford
gigantic liability, but none of the business knowledge, acumen, skills, whatever.
exactly.
He started an iron mill. Maybe I'll start an iron. Oh wait.
And then Matthew McConaughey comes in and says, "Okay, we'll pay for all your repairs and shit if you let us have a illegal weed operation on your property."
Yeah.
So that the cops can't go on your property to look for it or whatever. But anyway,
Because nobody's doing house raids on lords.
yeah. So I thought that was an interesting concept, and it just kind of a generational. They say generation or wealth skips a generation, right?
Yeah.
Because unless you can foster, a lot of people end up with really spoiled, rich people end up with spoiled children
Yeah.
that don't know how to work for anything
Or don't ever have that strong desire to.
because they've never been poor,
Right.
right? There's always the generation that's grew up poor, and they have a chip on their shoulder, and they want to prove that, and they want to get rich, but their kids don't have that. So they run the business into the ground, have kids. Those kids grow up poor, and then those kids want to get rich, and then it just.
Well,
fucking sucks.
I've heard it's cycles of 3.
Sure.
But yeah, it's cycles of 3, peaks and valleys of wealth to mediocrity.
Slower.
And I like to think I'm on the upswing.
Slower percentage. We're gonna take a second shot.
It's not real alcohol. Yummy.
I'm in some moderate dental pain right now,
Oh?
so I think that's the couple shots of whiskey is gonna help.
Sure. You have benefits,
So here's the thing. I get moderate to heavy dental pain twice a year when the seasons change. And before you ask, no, I've never gone to see a dentist about this. Because I'm sure a dentist could answer my question very quickly.
I don't. Why would you? They don't know anything about They don't know anything about teeth and stuff.
The last time I went to a dentist was to get my wisdom tooth removed, but it had been hurting me for a month and a half.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, you couldn't fucking eat by the time you went.
By the time I made the appointment, I couldn't talk anymore. And I was trying to run a business and I couldn't fucking make a sentence.
Yeah.
So I didn't Google it. It's season changing right now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting some light to moderate dental pain in my kind of wisdom tooth region.
Okay.
But last time this happened, I was fairly certain that was the wisdom tooth that I already had removed, was where it was hurting.
Phantom nerve pain.
Which is why I didn't go to the dentist. And then it went away. And then it happened again, 6 months later, when the weather changed. And then it went away. And now this is the third time it's happened.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think I remember Googling it a year ago. And there's science there. Something to do with the humidity.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know the stupid...
They just ripped a bone out of your body that had nerves attached to it. That's not nothing.
You know that stupid meme, I guess, that you always see in movies where they're like, "Oh, I know it's gonna rain because my knee hurts."
Yeah.
That's like literally a thing.
No, 100%. I think I've told the story before, but we used to have a neighbor who had Parkinson's disease. So he had this like wire in his spine. I don't know the exact procedure, but basically like it massively reduced the symptoms of his Parkinson's. And he was able to tell with like virtually 100% certainty when it was going to rain. So when my dad wanted to go for a motorcycle ride, this guy knew about 48 hours in advance if it was going to rain. So my dad would ask this guy, like, how's the weather? He's like, oh, well, it's probably not great. And then my dad would, like, call off the trip, and sure enough, it would fucking storm all weekend. And this guy was never wrong. And he could just tell by the tension of this wire in his spine. He could feel it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's 100% valid. So, yeah, I mean, I get a fucking cough whenever fall hits. I just start hacking like I've got the Rona. And I have to like constantly explain to people. I'm like, no, it's just it's a seasonal thing. Like, don't glare at me just because I'm hacking my lungs out in the parking lot.
You know what's funny? I was looking back at some memories on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I was saying when COVID was here for like, this was like the third month of it or second month.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going to be at least another year of this shit.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone in the comments was calling me a fucking pessimist and like, dude, you fucking don't know anything. How about you listen to the fucking doctors? And like, not a single person was nice to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have so many goddamn people on my social media.
You should go back to the post and just at all of them. Can you find it?
I will, yeah. I have
please do.
I have so
post
many
the screenshots.
goddamn people on my social media that never comment on anything until they're telling me I'm wrong.
Yeah, until they're mad.
And it's really funny. To be fair, though, I often post stuff I know that's going to make people mad on purpose.
I was going to say that's also just Facebook algorithms at work.
Yeah, but
that's how Facebook algorithms work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like I remember, I mean, I was living with my mom at the time, and we would, sit down every day at dinner and talk about it because what else do you fucking talk about? And I looked at her and I was like, this is fucking serious. And like, I know they're saying like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever.
Just 2 weeks to flatten the curve, baby.
Yeah. No, I looked at her and I'm like, by my research, I'm like, this is going to be 18 months to 3 years. We're going to be in this state.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's not going to get better. I'm like, it's probably going to be like 18 months to 3 years. I said, maybe even longer. And she was like freaked out. She's like, I hope not. I hope this is like over by summer. Like, I hope this is over by summer. It's like we're sitting there in fucking March. Little did we fucking know.
Little did we know, eh? Well, yeah, the fucking 1912 one, Spanish flu.
1918 flu.
Was
like 5 years?
That was 4 years. 4 years. So
yeah, typically pandemics last about that long because it takes that long to fucking burn through everybody.
Yeah.
And now we're slowing it down with all these health measures. But like, if you just let it run rampant, yeah, it'll go for 4 years. If you have health measures, it'll just drag on longer.
Yeah, ironically, yeah.
Because it's like, for one, it's not consistent, and for two, it's like, yeah, people just can't emotionally sustain that, like, restrictions on their life. I mean, we talked about this before. Yeah, restrictions suck. I 100% agree. But I also agree that they work. And don't work because people don't like them. So, I mean, it's fucking catch-22, right?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? As a government, the responsible thing, because if you don't, you'll get demagogue for that. If you do, you get demagogue for that.
So you may as well save more lives.
Do what's popular.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. But
you're wrong.
Okay.
I'm right.
All right.
Do what's popular.
Okay.
If
lives.
If saving lives was like 30%, there'd be no lockdowns. But currently, let it run rampant is like 30%.
Not in America, though.
Yeah.
I love America.
Yeah, American exceptionalism is something that I think is going to be in textbooks one day.
Yeah. After the American empire collapses.
I was going to say, the latest Virginia election, which is
Yeah,
very consequential.
The Republican won.
Yeah, the Republican won. For reasons which should be obvious if you're in marketing, which is if you play safe, you'll get fucked in the ass. But half the fight was about what should be in school curriculums. And
why is the government deciding this?
why is the government deciding what's in school curriculum? Because who else?
I don't know. Like
Everyone?
Teachers, maybe? I don't know.
See, that's the problem. What are you gonna have individual teachers deciding what's relevant to teach? Like,
I don't know.
how do you have an educational system where education is completely subjective?
It is.
Well, it is.
Let them
Sure.
give them the internet and say, fucking find something you're interested in.
Well, that's a worse idea because the internet is designed to pigeonhole you. Like, it's not designed to give you a wide-ranging
Social
and balanced...
media is maybe, but
No,
like the internet itself is not.
Google will show you more of what you want to see.
That's
Google
why
will not show you a balanced view of the subject you're interested in. Google will show you the angle of, like, it will tell you a specific headline that sounds like the thing that you want to hear.
Unlike American textbooks, they give us a very balanced view.
See, that's where I'm going with this. This critical race theory bullshit is just, it's dog whistly for, we want to whitewash American history. And
it is bullshit. Why are they teaching my kids that white men did bad things?
Exactly.
Because they didn't.
That's fucking bullshit. Why should my kids feel guilty for the fact that their prosperity is built on genocide?
We should be learning about
how heroic it was to genocide
people.
Yeah,
how heroic Ronald Reagan was. David Duke.
They're all great people.
Adolf. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, they just want to whitewash history because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that their American values is based on... it's based on exploitation. It's based on genocide. It's based on robbery. It's based on state-sponsored violence against people that didn't deserve it, in order to just retain your buying power as a consumer. Like,
I love that, like,
you can't...
all man is created equal unless you're black, Mexican, native,
or
didn't own land.
or live somewhere near the Silk Road. Then you're fucked.
Yeah.
If you live near the Silk Road, you're like thousands of years fucked. You're not just like, you're fucked, it's like... your children's are fucked. Thanks, America. I hate everyone. I hate America. I think, see, right now, I think, here's something that's culturally and business relevant and politically everything relevant. COP26 is happening right now.
Sorry, what?
COP26 is the climate summit that
Okay.
like all world leaders and a bunch of people go to.
Oh yeah, and I saw India and China just told everyone to go fuck themselves.
Basically. Also America did, but they said it nicer.
But we have a Democrat president.
Yeah, and he said fuck you kindly.
What? But
also
I thought
LGBTQ plus BIPOC also fuck you.
True.
Kindly.
True.
Thanks for your votes, and fuck everything you want. Because that's what Democrats do.
Why do I always read BIPOC as bisexual people of color?
Right?
Every single time.
Right? Like, I saw a poster today.
Did people of color not already cover, like, indigenous people?
No.
What does the B stand for?
Black.
Black, indigenous, people of color?
Yeah. Black, indigenous, and people... basically, black, indigenous, and everyone else is not white.
Why isn't people of color just anyone that's not white?
Because black and indigenous have better...
Branding?
Why do we both go there?
That's funny. I don't know. I don't care.
Neither do I. It's not fucking relevant. Acronyms are whatever. If it's memorable. We both remembered it. It's fine.
The Alphabet Mafia?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so COP26 is happening right now. And it's like... I love the debate around... is fucking useless, and it's an oxymoron because you go there and all you just 24/7 and just helicopters flying
Yeah.
overhead, and it's just like, okay, they're literally burning how much fucking fuel an hour?
Everyone took their private jets
And
there.
everyone took their private jets. There's tons of like venture capitalist investors. Like, there's somebody took a shot of like, oh, this is the airstrip after G20. Oh, this is the airstrip after, the this climate summit, and it's just fucking lines and lines and lines and lines of private jets.
Yeah.
And all these people like either took boats or planes or helicopters. Like, okay, it's on a fucking island. I get it. And also you're from all over the world. You're busy. Like, it's a testament to the fact that even, you can look at it one way. It's like, even if you hate the system, you can't get out of it. You can't just opt out.
You couldn't have done this over Zoom?
Yeah, you can, but it doesn't really have gravity.
It doesn't have gravity now, apparently.
It doesn't, because there is measurable improvement, but there's also absolutely no improvement in other ways. Like, for example, their newest pledge is like abolish deforestation by 2030.
Yeah.
They also said that in like 2015, and it's only increased since then.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, sure. But like there's a lot of that, and this is what I hate about this, the climate change space, is it's because you need let's say you need three things. You need the acknowledgement of the problem publicly. It's like, this is a problem. Number two, you need commitment to change the problem, and number three, you need actions to rectify the problem. But like, all those have to happen, but they don't all happen at the same time, because it's obviously incredibly complex and whatever. Number one is happening at these conferences. Number two is happening at these conferences. Number three sometimes happens, usually is talked about at these conferences. But number three, rubber doesn't hit the fucking road. Like, Biden passing a big, climate change agenda is all great and everything, but Trump's just gonna fucking kill everything that he can when he gets back in office in a few years, and it's not gonna stick. Like, I personally just think we gotta lose a few million more people. Like, I don't know, New Orleans gotta like fall in the ocean, maybe Hollywood's gotta sink. Something's gonna have to fucking happen to wake people up, and I don't think it's gonna happen now. Realistically, it's just not. But these summits, my opinion, is it's better that they're happening than they're not. Even if they're not effective, I'd rather have them happen than not.
Speaking of Hollywood, what do you think about this? Alec Baldwin
shooting a
murdered
motherfucker?
somebody.
I think it's karma.
Oh, man. So, this is kind of old news at this point. Also, because I edit these like 3 weeks after we record them. So
it's
this is
really old news.
But maybe I can bring a perspective. I'm not reporting the news.
Hot take.
As I'm sure you've heard,
Really?
Alec Baldwin...
I thought this was a more daily podcast.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin shot and killed a director of photography on a set of a film. He had a loaded gun handed to him. He thought it was a prop gun. He was demonstrating the shot he was going to do.
He's supposed to point at the camera and pull the trigger.
And he did. And
Live rounds
killed somebody. Now, you start digging. Now, obviously, like, the big one that I always quote is Brandon Lee. So Brandon Lee is Bruce Lee's kid.
Yeah.
He was a martial artist and actor. And he was filming this film called The Crow. And was killed on set.
Really?
Yeah. While they were filming, they were using a gun with blanks in it. In the barrel, there was a blank that hadn't cleared the barrel. It was like stuck in.
Right. And
the second blank shot it out at full velocity, shot and killed him.
Yeah.
And they actually played the video, because they were filming it from a bunch of different angles, obviously.
Yeah.
In court, to prove that it was nobody's fault. And then the judge ordered all the copies of that video destroyed, and ruled it was just a It was an accident.
Right.
Freak of nature. Now, that was in the 90s. How are we still using fucking guns with real... like, because he shot... Alec Baldwin, and I'll get more into what happened, but he shot that was a real gun. There were real guns and prop guns.
It was an antique gun. Yeah. It was a real antique.
You know how good CGI is now? I get it, it's expensive, but like...
Yeah, I don't...
Why are we still using... Or like, you're telling me you need to use an actual firearm?
I think because...
There's no way to
the kinetic energy of a bullet is, I think it's extremely... I don't think you can duplicate it.
Maybe not in CG, but like, can you not build something that just shoots out, like, gives you recoil or something?
Well, maybe.
Like, you know what I mean?
That might be possible. Maybe there's something they'll invest in now. It sounds expensive for one, and also
Fair.
Movies
are fucking
dramatically different guns. So you'd have to build a mechanism or something that could work in all these,
retrofit to every weapon,
which is blanks.
But as far as I understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but John Wick, at least the first one, which is now I think probably one of the most highest selling action movies ever.
Good.
And in my opinion, probably one of the, like, it's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
The entire series, they get get worse and worse, but John Wick 1.
Fuck Bruce Willis.
Sure, but that was all CGI gunshots.
Yeah.
As far as I understand.
Yeah, but he was like an assassin using a gun in like an unrealistic way. Like, if he was using blanks, he would have killed someone.
Well, yeah, yes, correct, yeah.
It was all close quarters.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair. Because okay, fair.
All of it was, and it happens so fast.
But
there's cutscenes.
When I was watching the first one, because that's all Keanu Reeves actually doing stunts.
Yeah.
It's all like, and the one club scene, that's like an 8-minute uninterrupted shot and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking lit.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Go, from a filmmaking perspective, great fucking movie. But I was never thinking, that never took me out of the movie. Oh, that was a fake gunshot. It's like, you don't give a shit, right? Okay, whatever. That's besides the point. Alec Baldwin, you start reading into it and you're like, oh man, that sucks. It's obviously not his fault. Like, how do you live with that, right? That you accidentally killed somebody. Then you start reading into it. Apparently, that gun was handed to him by a prop master who is a scab that they hired because the actual props department was on strike because they weren't getting paid enough.
No, because they had safety concerns.
There was safety concerns on the set.
Related to firearms.
And then you start doing more research and you're like, well, then maybe the producers should be fucking liable for this. Who produced the film?
Alec Baldwin.
Alec goddamn Baldwin.
And he voted to hire scabs and ignore the safety concerns.
And then he killed somebody.
And this is unverified, but I read this, so it must be true on the internet. Apparently, the prop guns were actually used like for entertainment purposes for target shooting by the scabs, I guess, during like that lunch break that day. They like took it to a shooting range and like, oh, we got these antique guns, this is dope. So they went target shooting. They're like, let's see how an old 6-shooter or whatever the fuck it was works. And they were target shooting for fun. And apparently didn't clear all the live rounds, and that's where it came from, was from the range.
So
that's why there was live rounds in a prop gun.
This sounds like there definitely is liability somewhere.
Oh, 100%. Like, I was 12 when I did gun safety courses.
Yeah.
And I know better than this.
Rule number 1 is handle the firearm like it's loaded. No matter what.
No, handle the firearm like you intend to kill someone on the other end at all times.
No, that's the other. Well, handle it like it's loaded, and then the second rule is don't point it unless you're going to fire it.
Right.
Or unless your intention is to fire it.
Which is obviously twisted when you are in a movie.
Of course, because you're trying to do a work of fiction.
But that's the actor should not have to abide by those rules, but the prop master should.
You can't hand him a fucking gun that's loaded.
You should,
like, come on,
quadruple check that motherfucker.
You should fucking just start shooting into the ground, right?
like 100%. I would, if I was prop master, I'd be like, okay, everyone,
I'm about to fire off a firearm
I'm
here to
gonna fire
make sure.
I'm gonna fire this gun a bunch of times. I'd fire the full clip into the ground and then load another clip of blanks.
Yeah.
Just to be sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because blanks can kill. Very rare, very unusual, but they can kill because they have what's called like a wad in the round, which is like basically just material that holds the actual propellant together. It's like plastic or whatever. Like, if you're at extreme close range, it can kill. Usually it would injure, which is what they initially thought, but then they found out it was a live round, right? Like, if you shoot buckshot, there's like a plastic thing that pushes all the beads out, whatever. It can do damage, but probably won't kill. But it was just fucking negligence.
Which is
why I said karma.
Yeah, well, so I like Alec Baldwin as an actor, I think.
Yeah.
He's great in The Departed. He's on the show 30 Rock. It's pretty funny.
But do we know anything about his character?
I think he's a kind of this like one of those like rich liberals.
Yeah.
That always shames other. The only thing I don't know much about his character, but I saw a tweet from him making fun of Dick Cheney for shooting somebody while he was drunk hunting. Yeah. Just kidding. He wasn't drunk. He got cleared of all wrongdoing. Of course he was drunk hunting. Right? Yeah. Now, the vice president of the United States fucking shot somebody while hunting because they were just plastered.
Yeah.
Allegedly. That's what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying has actually happened. But anyway, and then there's tweets of Alec Baldwin making Dick Cheney jokes.
Right.
And people were retweeting that.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I wonder what it would feel like to shoot someone at Dick Cheney.
Well, he was basically like making fun. Well, no, this was before Twitter, obviously. It happened, right? But he was like making fun of like Republicans by being like, oh, at least I haven't fucking shot somebody.
Yeah.
And then he did. Like, so, like,
yeah. Tweets that didn't age well.
Yeah.
That's fucking beautiful. I think like the people don't really understand that, like, Hollywood, quote unquote Hollywood types, California liberal, like, they're all very centrist. They're very capitalist. They're actually pretty right wing.
Oh, he's extremely right wing, but they play this, I am a fucking leftist on TV, like, tax the rich, whatever.
California is actually pretty right wing.
Yeah.
But
America.
Yes, America is very right wing, but in America, California is pretty right wing, but it's like, it is right wing in its ideology, in its people of power, it's people with capital, it's people with fame.
Remember when
they're all really right wing. The reason that it's left is because the vast majority of the population in numbers
is in poverty.
is left because of the ideals projected by the people that are actually right. Like,
well, and it's funny because then they vote for higher taxes, and then the Panama Papers come out, and it's like, oh, every movie star just has their money offshore.
Yeah.
And it's not, they don't pay the taxes that they're voting for.
Yeah.
They're like, tax the rich, and then
it ain't me, I'm poor on paper.
And then they just hide their taxes, or they hide their income, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you?
One more piece of Hollywood news before we move away from our Hollywood segment.
I love Hollywood segment.
Chris Pratt is voicing Mario in the 2022 Mario film.
There's a Mario film?
In 2022 there will be.
Wow.
Chris Pratt is voicing Mario. Do you think he's going to do an offensive
Italian accent?
No, I think Idris Elba's like voicing Luigi or something. Jack Black's doing Bowser. Anya Taylor-Joy is doing Peach.
Anya Taylor-Joy is low-key my favorite celebrity. Period.
Hate her on Peaky Blinders.
Agreed.
No, I love her on Peaky Blinders, but I hate that fucking character. She does it really well.
I love her in Queen's Gambit.
Haven't seen it.
She nailed it.
But yeah,
amazing actress.
Anyway, but and she's a POC. She's a BIPOC.
She's the whitest person I've ever seen.
She's born in like Argentina or something.
She's literally the whitest person ever.
Yeah, she's like Argentinian.
Cool. Color white, maybe not ethnically, but she gets by as like.
Well, it is like a people of color movie. Mario, it's all Italians.
Not a single fucking Italian in the cast.
Chris, I hope he. Anyway, and then that was announced a
That's
couple.
everything that's great about Hollywood is they have this
How about you hire?
Italian plum. They have It's in it. Okay, Mario and Luigi are Italians. This is written by what? The Japanese?
It was written by Miyamoto. Yeah.
Right. So, Italian cultural appropriating written by a Japanese man, then further bastardized by Hollywood and made white.
There's
That tracks. I mean, you can't really be racist against Italians. Like, there's a certain amount of genocides you can have that, like, you can no longer be racist against the people that have created them. Like, fuck the Italians.
Like, you can
right?
make fun of Germans and it's fine.
You can make fun of Italians, Germans, white people, of course.
Of course.
The English, you can.
Yeah, fuck the English.
Fuck the English.
Yeah.
The French.
Yeah,
fuck the French.
Fuck the French. Yeah.
Yeah, the Russians.
We're scared of the Russians.
They've got it. They've got it hard. Chinese. Fuck them. Japanese, pretty awful.
Anyway, but
all those people you can be racist against. It's fine.
Have you seen the 1991 live action Mario film?
No.
Oh, it's
I didn't know this existed.
It's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's one of the lowest rated movies of all time.
Ooh.
It's live action. They're like,
It sounds bad.
I think Dennis Hopper plays Bowser, and he's in like shitty makeup to make him look like a turtle.
Nice.
It's really creepy.
So it's like TMNT.
Oh no, but it's worse.
Worse?
Yeah.
Just 91?
No, it's worse because they're like, they still have like human features. It's almost like cats, but like they're reptiles.
Ugh.
And it's just everyone's really bad in it. And it's like not in a fantasy world. It like takes place in real life. And like Dennis Hopper,
you should screen this movie at your bar.
At my bar, yeah. Maybe I will.
The night before that the new one comes out.
Okay. Anyway, this was announced a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it was announced that Chris Pratt is also going to voice Garfield in the 2022 Garfield live action film.
Wow, Chris Pratt is based.
Chris Pratt's like a racist or something, right?
Is he?
No, he's like super Christian conservative or something. He's problematic.
I was gonna say, no matter what, he's problematic.
Erase what I just said. I don't know. That was just, I'm trying to like remember something. No, he's definitely problematic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's going to so I originally saw this tweet being like, Chris Pratt is voicing Garfield. I thought it was making fun of the fact that he's voicing Mario.
Yeah.
No,
Unironic.
he's voicing Garfield. Written by Jim Davis, though, the guy that wrote the original comics, is like writing the film.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Huh.
But man, I really want some lasagna right now.
Yeah.
So welcome to this next segment that we call lasagna, where we eat a fucking family-sized lasagna.
I want to look into Chris Pratt now. I'm curious. Why is he problematic?
No, I remember there was a bunch of discourse earlier, a year ago, where
he like hates LGBT people or is like racist or
something like that, probably.
All the above.
Aren't we all? I don't know who decided Chris Pratt.
He's problematic.
He's like the fucking, like, I remember Chris.
Why is Chris Pratt Mario?
Why is he Garfield?
Is there? Okay, Garfield, I get. It's a pompous white.
He's
character.
Orange. Trump should play him.
Ooh.
How about,
That's good.
Can we hire voice actors to play animated roles instead of
actors?
Instead of just big names?
Big names
that do a shittier job?
Big names pull profits.
Oh, okay. I hate profit.
Agreed.
The only prophet I care about
is Muhammad.
Damn it!
Fucking gotcha.
I
know you too well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Okay, no.
I was gonna say Bitcoin Jesus.
Chris Pratt, in my mind, is fucking Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation. He's just like a bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
Why is he an action star now? Why and how?
Like Guardians of the Galaxy did him good.
I guess Guardians of the Galaxy like let him be funny.
Yeah.
which he is. Like
Yeah,
I think he's a funny guy.
He was still a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, but well, exactly. But now he's like in these fucking like zombie movies and like as like this action star that's supposed to be like stoic and like
Just hire Keanu Reeves.
yeah, like and then now he's Mario apparently. So whatever.
No, hire that guy from Squid Game. Number 456.
I didn't see it.
Hire that guy.
I have this thing. What I don't like purposely don't watch popular stuff, but I feel like I just like I'm never interested.
It's good. I think you'd like it.
Maybe I don't know.
It's a good commentary on capitalism and
I don't want to my delicate capitalist sensibilities to be offended by a critique on the system that I love.
No. It's not like that. It's very indirectly a criticism. Like
If you're dumb, you won't get it.
right.
Yeah, that's a lot of Korean film though. What?
Hot take.
No, I don't know. I think a lot of like Korean films like
Deep.
cerebral and like
Yeah, no, that's fair.
a lot of commentary,
anime.
subtext. Anime's not Korean.
No, but anime has a lot of that.
What is anime?
You know when they have like porn, but it's got squid.
Imagine hentai, but they're not fucking. Oh, okay.
It's like, no, I can't imagine that.
I can't imagine that. Yeah,
Sorry, haven't seen such.
yeah.
SpongeBob?
SpongeBob's my favorite anime. I think.
I think it's your favorite hentai. Patrick. I don't like where this is going.
I don't like where this is going either. I think we should we have a segment on this show called Business Tip of the Week, where Tyler and I give you a business tip of.
Hey, you didn't plug YouTube.
I'll get there.
Okay.
Where Tyler and I give you a business tip of something that we're personally currently going through in business.
Sure. You want me to go first? Yeah.
No.
Yes.
My business tip of the week.
Okay.
Every business has, I think, very, very uncommon if your business is just constantly, every day is busy forever.
Yeah.
You're going to have, there's going to be a cyclical nature in your business. And this might be pretty obvious, but I feel, I see people in my personal life that fumble the bag all the time, where they like the reason I bring it up is because right now is we're coming in November. This is the time of year where we prep for our Christmas rush, because 25% of the wine in this province is sold in the month of December. People drink over the holidays. People give wine as fucking gifts, like December, and then my summer, right, is busy. But November is relatively slow for sales, but we do all our prep getting stuff ready for December.
Yeah.
Because I personally know a few smaller businesses that run out of stock constantly in Christmas because they're not ready for it. And I've always heard, like, when I run out of stock of shit, I'm pissed off.
Right. Lost money.
I lost money. When I've heard people be like, oh, I sold out. That's awesome. I made so much money. It's like, no. No.
You should
Stop thinking like
you
that.
You should almost sell out.
Stop thinking like that. You need to have one left.
Yeah.
You need to have one of whatever you're selling left by the end for you, and then you can eat it or drink it or put it on your body, or I don't know what you're selling. Maybe it's a tile.
Put it on your
house.
Yeah.
Anyway, but whatever. But you gotta, and even after your first year, I think you can start kind of getting a feel for. I love statistics and like business sales statistics, and now that I can kind of see a not a bar graph. What do you call the ones that are like zoom, zoom, zoom? Like just a graph.
A graph. A line graph.
Now that I can see a graph of like sales over the last like 5 years, you can really see where the cyclical, when and where your customers are buying.
Yeah.
And I think that applies for almost every single business.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
I mean, you've asked me when my slow season was, and I said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. You did say that.
Yeah, it's whenever I want it to be, which is whenever I'm too tired.
learn the cycles of your business.
Which there are. I will correct that. Say there are cycles to my business, but being always behind flattens the curve.
So my 2 tips: don't be behind.
Yep.
And learn the cyclical nature of your business. I think that'll really help. It might, like I said, it might seem obvious, but I've seen people fumble it.
Yeah.
And be happy with fumbling it because they're selling more.
Yep.
Don't have the mentality. It's not going to help you in business being like, oh, I sold so much, I sold out. That's good. No.
Don't rest on your laurels.
People, fucking customers say that to me all the time. Where I'm like, oh, sorry, we sold out of this, and they're like, oh, that's a good problem to have. No, it's not.
Like, I don't have enough liquor.
You know what a good problem to have? Both these princesses want to have a threesome with me right now, but Rihanna also is trying to have sex with me. That's a good problem.
And they're both Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Pratt.
Oh, Chris Pratt voices Daisy,
And Anya Taylor-Joy is Luigi.
Do you have a tip of the week?
I think Danny DeVito should be Mario for one.
Oh no, Charlie Day's in it too.
Okay.
I think I saw a bunch of tweets that were like, Charlie Day's fucking playing like Luigi, but Danny DeVito's not doing like Bowser. Like, you fucking dropped the ball on that one.
100%.
Anyway.
I think my tip of the week would be the reiterating the fantastic Jewish proverb of count your money, don't count theirs. And focus on your fucking hustle. And if you get into that downward spiral of...
Into the thick of it?
Yeah. If you get into the thick of it and think about all the shit you could have did and all the Bitcoin you should have bought and all the Ethereum you should buy right fucking now. Not actual investing advice, this is just a commentary. Don't ever get sidetracked by comparisons to other people, because your fucking life is not their fucking life. Their problems are not yours. And I think the principle of cool kids peaked in high school also applies to singular-minded people that are, very focused and also probably maybe not very smart, because people that are very smart aren't usually singularly focused, are also more successful than you. Don't let that feel like they are outdoing you, they are out succeeding. Like, you need to change your behavior. If I've learned anything from Willows, it's ignore reality and just do what you want to do.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment, because if you do anything really well, it's ignoring all the facts and just saying, you know what, I think manifest destiny is the way things work.
Wait, weren't you just saying that's how Trump operates and how you hate that and that's a huckster thing?
I don't remember that, no.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't recall.
Good thing no one's recording this.
I think you should cut that shit out. No, there's something to be said about just like get back on your bullshit and stick to your principles. Don't get distracted by other people's ideas or other people's success. And just because their success compares to yours in a way that makes you feel like shit, doesn't mean that your approach isn't valid. Like, I don't know, stay on your bullshit.
I like it.
Stay on your bullshit, Willows.
Baby, you don't have to tell me twice.
And on that note, visit us on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually work it in.
No, you didn't. You fucking failed, man.
We have a video version of this podcast. It's on YouTube.
47 episodes and you fucked up.
It's fine. It's on YouTube, youtube.com/votewillows. You can check it out. Follow us on whatever, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you follow or subscribe or whatever on those platforms, it actually does help us out. So if you could do that, that'd be awesome. Follow us on Instagram, Alcohol Beyond This Point. And Facebook, Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast. Other than that, just I love you.
Thank you. And watch Mario 2022 for Danny DeVito starring.
This is a Mario podcast now.
Thanks, Peach.
Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast.
This isn't two podcasters talking business. This is two business guys trying to podcast.